All right, so we're here on StudentVUE, and I'm just going to show you how to look at a detailed look at your classes and your grades in those classes. So when you first sign in to StudentVUE, it's going to take you to the home page. So you'll then need to click on the gradebook area over here with like the little purple binder. And when you do, it's going to give you an overall rundown. Now, I want to make something super clear. Just because it says 0 missing assignments here doesn't mean you're not actually missing something. I know, it seems like it would, but what you really need to do for each class is take a look into the actual class. So you'll need to click on it because you have to have a certain thing in here for it to show up here. Sometimes teachers use other codes. So you need to actually take a look at each class. And this is a good practice to do often. A good time would be during your asynchronous time or during Mondays when you are catching up on your work. This is a great time to look at that. So when you go over to StudentVUE, you can see exactly what you're missing and what your grade is. So let's take a look at what a couple of those codes mean. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the name of the class. That's what you need to do to take a closer look. So I'm going to, for career investigations, I'm just going to click on this link, and it's going to bring me to a detailed view of everything that I'm missing. So this shows me my overall grade. So I would have an A in this class, so 3.62. So when I scroll down, I can see exactly what's going on. So I can see that on this, I got a 4 out of 4. On these, I got 4 out of 4s. I got lots of 4 out of 4s. But look over here. This is important. Right now, it says not handed in. That means that your teacher indicated that for the work values assessment, I got a 0. And not handed in equals a 0. So make sure that if you have something that's listed as not handed in, you go back and check. So what you can do is you can go into Canvas and look at the module that had the date for 12/7. This shows when it was due, or maybe even the module before that if it was a longer assignment. But you'll need to look around that time and look for something for your work values assessment. They should be named pretty similarly, if not the same. And you'll need to go and make sure that you complete that. Now, down here, there's something called an NE. An NE stands for no evidence. And that is a placeholder. So what your teacher will do is they'll say, well, I don't know what their grade is in here yet because I haven't seen them turn it in. So I'm going to put it in NE here. And it shows up as a no evidence in your assignments. Now notice that even though it said 0 missing assignments when we went to the top, that's not necessarily true. So make sure that you're taking a look and looking for your zeros, okay? This NE here is going to get turned into an NHI, which is the equivalent of an F. So notice NE shows it's not graded yet because you haven't turned anything in, so they can't grade it. But if you don't turn it in by the time that they need you to, that gets changed to an NHI, which is an F, and that'll impact your grade. So make sure you're looking at those things. Sometimes the teacher will put in incomplete, and then they'll make a note. So maybe over here it says incomplete because maybe you turned in the assignment, but you didn't actually do anything on it. So they're like, well, you haven't finished it yet. Or maybe there's more you have to do, in which case you'll look at the date, go back to that module and find that activity, and then complete it. So you'll want to go through and you'll want to go into each one of your classes and take a better look. So you can actually do that for, let's say you're getting into language arts. Right now, I can see that I got an A on my thesis statement and brainstorm assignment, so I'm good to go. So if you look over here, this is your overall grade, and then these are your other grades. So you have your formative or your 10% grades, and your summatives are your 90% grades. Or if you're in 8th grade, then your formative is 0 and your summative is 100. So make sure you're taking a look at what those are. Now, if you want to look at another marking period, say you want to take a look at how you did in quarter 2, you can go up here and click on this bar, and you can find, this says year marking period 3. Let's look at year marking period 2 and see how things were different. So I can scroll down and I can see the grades that I got in each class. So the teachers will leave notes for you over here, or it'll say things like not handed in, etc. So here I am looking at another class, so I'm looking at my language arts class, and so I can see that I got an A on this, but this one wasn't handed in. See how they have those red marks there? So make sure that you're taking a look at that. And these, remember, are different parts of your grade. This is your overall grade. So you find these by going to the grade book and then clicking on the actual name of the course. Now, if there's not anything in there yet, it just means your teacher hasn't added grades because it is the beginning of the quarter. But this is a really important practice. You should be doing it often as you can. So don't just look at the front here and think, oh, I know everything, because you might not. Things might be changing. So while you have an A in math, you could look at it. You could say, okay, so far I'm good to go. But by checking, you make sure that you don't have any NEs or NHIs in there. You don't want any NEs. Those will turn into zeros. Those will turn into Fs. So make sure that you're paying attention to that. Okay, now let's say that you want to take a closer look at an actual assignment. So I see this one here is my work values assessment. I have not handed in, and I want to know a little bit more about what this was. I can click on it, and I can find more information. I can see what date it was assigned and when it was due. And sometimes the teacher will leave a description, like notes about where to find it, or they might have a file on here. So it's also good if you need more information to take a look into that assignment and see what they have. It might be helpful in helping you identify where to find that. Okay, and one last thing that you can do is you can go into a class. Let's say you want to look at your progression in math. So I go to math and I see right now I have an A. Remember this bar up here because you can click on it and you can look at other ones too. So I can look at marking period 1 and my final grade was a C. I can look at marking period 2. My final grade was an A. So once that quarter's over and report cards could go out, you can see what your past grades are just by switching this little box up here to see your other classes. To take a look at the stuff that you're missing, you can use this worksheet to help you stay on track. So my tip is to try it every Monday. Go in on Monday, go through all your courses. You can fill this out as a PDF and find it in the Parents and Students Canvas page, and your teachers are going to show you how to find it today. But it's a good idea to get into a routine and figure out when you can check your assignments and see what you're missing and get them taken care of so it doesn't all pile up at the end of the quarter.